All in all, I'd have to say that was an unbelievably successful transfer window. Probably one of my favourites of all time, just with the sheer amount of wheeling and dealing we were able to do to massively strengthen this squad, for me anyway, with some really, really high quality talent, making the squad a lot younger as well, but also to do it while still turning a profit and shifting on a lot of dead wood. That's basically the dream transfer window. Now, we do still have a tiny little bit of time left today to maybe get one more player over the line, and there's a few little things I need to catch you up on. And not to forget the fact that the league starts today as well. As always, if you have been enjoying the series, drop a like on the video. That would be most bloody spectacular. It's kind of nuts, actually, honestly. If I could be real with you for a minute, that there's still this amount of support on this series, considering how late we are into the game cycle and also just how long this season and series has been going. So thank you so much for the support. It does mean a lot to me. As someone that was on the fence of even doing a Let's Play series on YouTube this year, this has certainly been fun as hell, honestly. You will notice that the time has passed a little bit because I was basically doing a little bit of searching for a striker for us, just to see if we could find anyone, rustle someone up before the season started. The transfer window closes in a few days, the day after, basically, our very first game of the season, which just so happens to be against Djurgården, which of course we'll be getting into in a sec. Not many players have really come up that have been fantastic for me in terms of what I want to do with them. However, there is one guy that I think might be worth us picking up, just even if it's on a shortish term deal. And I'll show you him now. And this is him. This is Victor Lindstrom, 28-year-old striker from AIK. Now, the reason I'm interested in him is, one, because not a lot of other strikers have come up, but two, I actually think he's okay. Physically, he's very, very solid. He actually has very good jumping reach as well. 16 acceleration is pretty decent for a rather tall player. Not the highest in terms of speed, but that acceleration at least gives me some hope. 15 finishing, 14 composure. He is very, very right-footed, but we've kind of proven that that doesn't matter all that much in that role at the moment. But the biggest thing for me, or the biggest factors for me in wanting to pick him up at this point, is a very simple one. He's 28 years old, obviously, so he's not one of the spring chickens for the rest of the squad. He's still only 28, pretty much prime of his career. Homegrown, Swedish, and he's available for only £450,000, which for me feels like an absolute bargain. It was, literally a week ago, 600. I put this off for a week because I was like, we'll do it a bit closer to the window, see if we can find anyone else. And they are so desperate to get rid of Victor Lindstrom that they've actually dropped the price to £450,000. It does make me wonder if we could even get him slightly cheaper than that. And maybe I'd be tempted, honestly, if we could maybe amortize his wage, or rather his transfer fee, over the course of his contract, which I'm hoping would be like maybe a 3-year deal for someone like him would be quite nice, just to tide us over. So if I could get us set up, really, that allows us to pay a bit less than that, certainly up front and over the 3-year period, then perhaps that could be the ideal deal for us, just to tide us over until I can find that perfect guy. Because we do still have 325 players on my scouting list because we have so few scouts. It's going to take us a long time to get through them all, and I've no doubt there's going to be some monsters in there as well. We just haven't found them yet, although I must say there's a couple of guys that are looking outrageous in there. Bit out of our price range though. So for today, I think I'm going to try and get Victor Lindstrom. Okay, so this is what they've suggested. I feel like I could probably negotiate this a little bit more, but I'm also not overly fussed if this is kind of what they want to go with. It does actually equal slightly more, but it's 250 up front, 200,000 of course over 3 years, and then 90,000 if he makes 50 league appearances for us, which is possible if he was to be a starting striker for us for 2 years, or even like off the bench. But I think it would probably take him his entire deal for that to come to fruition anyway. And I still think that for 250k up front, that's probably a very solid piece of business just to get him over the line, get another striker in. And I think like then I would feel really confident about having backups in both roles and starters in both roles and having really, really strengthened this team in this window. So £1,000 a week for Victor Lindstrom. Love that. It does have a wage rise clause, of course, so we can utilize the fact that he has no Swedish caps. I have put in a 1-year optional extension for the club, just in case after that 3 years, we're like, oh, maybe there is something here. We could just get that extra 1 year, and that would also then line up with the payment plan for the player as well from AIK. So I think that's probably a good contract for us. It's only £1,000 a week at this point. I think he is genuinely his attributes look really good, and that's what I'm most excited about with him, honestly. Ronan Dai, of course, as you can see, is our best player at the club. We all know that. He's outrageous. But remember that we paid £89,000 and he came in and he was worth like 6? Yeah, notice his value now. 19 to 21 million pounds. Basically, he got a cap for the Senegalese national team. Luckily, he doesn't have a particularly large wage rise clause and it's set to 5 games and it only goes to 3 grand. And all of a sudden, his value has like quadrupled to 20 million quid and there's no release clause. And he's got a 4-year contract. This is amazing news. And speaking of getting international caps, Hugo Vaca also now has 2 international caps. I believe his value has gone up slightly in that as well, but needless to say, he's just ridiculous. And apparently, his surname means cow in Spanish, which is just delightful. So it's Hugo, it's the Moo Man, it's Moo Man. In his honor, I've had an AI rustle up an artist's rendition of what this half man, half cow creature could potentially look like when you should be seeing it on your screen now. I haven't seen it yet, so I hope that it looks good. So first day of the season, at home against Djurgården, the team that we're essentially trying to overthrow. Albeit last year they very nearly overthrew themselves. Do I think that we're going to be in title contention this year? Absolutely not. I do think this team is a lot better, and I think really our aims have got to be trying to get into Europe this season. I think this team is definitely strong enough for that. Still a few areas I'd like to improve, but I think we've got the time now that we've got a base squad to build around that. The board are just expecting mid-table top half type of material, and I really think that 5th or 4th is definitely on the cards. I think Djurgården are better than us. I think Hammarby are better than us. I feel like yotaborg and Sirius are probably better than us too. Malmö, maybe? I don't know. I still think we're in the 5th or 6th best spot. Last year, technically, our predicted points were still 4th best in the league. So if we can sort out some of those issues, which I'm hoping we can do, things are looking very good. Newly promoted size, you'll note as well. We have now got Brumma Poikina back up into the top flight, along with Skövda. Yep, I thought that might be the case. These guys, brand new. First ever, as far as I know in real life as well, potentially. First ever season in the top flight. They've been in the Superette in the entire save. Like every single season they've spent in the 2nd tier in this save, except for maybe the 1st season when they're in the 3rd tier. They've come all the way up, and this is going to be their 1st season in the Allsvenskan. I think they could get absolutely destroyed. But the question for us is who's actually going to play in our team today. It should be stacked though. I want Castilla as the DLF, and I want to try out, look at all this homegrown status stuff on the bench. I'm still going to try Ceesay through the middle here. And then we can have on the bench Lindstrom. I want Ndai further up there with Kouassi and... where's Mooman? There he is. Left back, I wanted Aquino. So there we go. So it's still, I mean, thankfully we've got our bench. Is all I can say. Thankfully our bench exists. I had no idea that Denair was homegrown, but it does allow us to feel a very, very strong side out here, which is kind of what I'm looking for. And it gives us a lot of options to rotate around this team as well, with the likes of Vipelli on the bench, Juan Martin, not on the bench, but in the squad, Martin and Salaku, Einarsson. There's a lot of quality, and I still think the bench has a lot of quality too, with Jusic, Jorge, Siga, Longer, Pettersson, Lindstrom, of course, fresh in, but of course he's not got full match fitness yet. I'm excited by this team. I really, really am. My expectations for this game are not overly high. I think we might well still lose this one, but I feel like we've built a hell of a spine of a team. That midfield 3 of Ndai, Vaca, and Kouassi are... What? Hang on, they have 1 substitute? Djurgården, are you okay? What's happened? Why have they only named 1 substitute? What's happened at Djurgården? That right there is the ultimate flex. They're just like, screw you, we're going to name 1 sub. Is he a goalkeeper? They've named 1 sub and it's a 19-year-old goalkeeper. I have no idea what's going on or why they've done that. Is that a glitch? Like, what's going on? Or have they just bought so many players that they can't register the bench? I don't understand what's going on here. Ceesay driving forward for us, tries to slip one into the channel. Well, maybe we do have a chance then if they've got no one off the bench. Coming through the middle here, already slips one through for Velchko. This is a big chance for Oran. It's a huge tackle there, sliding across from Trifunovic. Castilla, out wide for Aquino on the left-hand side. We need good performances out that left this year. Mooman's already through, and Ceesay's shot is incredibly blocked there at the death. This just gets better and better. First our opposition lineup with no players on the bench, now this. No, seriously, they've got a goalkeeper and then no one else. How? Good question.
Is this the game just bought?
Through the power of magic. There was the unmistakable sound of someone pretending to be interested. And we move. Ceesay to Castilla. Where's the return pass? Ceesay, can he get this onto his left foot? Oh, it's a great effort and tipped over by René. Aquino being pushed back, and he really had a poor start to it there, and it's Velchko through again. Saved by Makacek. Okay, chance for a set piece here. Kouassi can deliver a hell of a goal. Oh, it's Garcia, and it's cleared away. Oh, this is a good chance for Velchko. This gives a great job. What a free kick. I mean, you know those almost always go in. Eugene Velchko, Örebro 0, Djurgården 1. That's a shame. I hate conceding them, but what can you really do about it other than not concede the free kick, I guess? Disappointed to fall behind the way that we did. We sort of started off well and then kind of staggered out the game a little bit. I think it's just going to... I think this could be an attrition game. I think we'll be able to make changes in the second half to freshen the squad up, and they won't for some reason. I still can't get over that. It must be a glitch. Watch them bring on players anyway. But it's still a game that I feel like we're in. We just need to create a little bit more, and we haven't quite got the connections going yet. Both fullbacks have really struggled today, so it certainly isn't just like a left-back problem. In fact, if anything, Order's been worse. Order out on this right-hand side. He's got bodies inside, and he's found Castilla. Here we go. Lovely run from the Mooman. Oh, it's a good effort as well from Vaca. Velchko. Learning. Bit of space. That's a great... I say it's a great goal. It's not really. Lars Eric Learning down the middle. Honestly, I think Makacek could have saved that. Trying to find a bit of space for a cross. Oh, back for Tour de Jorge. And Dai pulls it across. One more. Pettersson. Oh my God, how's he missed that? How has he missed that? Pettersson trying to find a bit of space for us, and he has done. Castilla pulls it press for Ndai, and it's in. It is in. Arona Ndai scores his first goal for the club, and well, the man that's now worth 20 million, can he be the man that leads us back into this game with 20 minutes left? To Castilla. So Castilla's just done a good job today at leading the line and linking up the play, and it's exactly what I want out of that DLF role. Lovely pass though from Ndai. Now we've got a chance. Fires it across. Lindstrom's on the end of it, and it is 2-2 here. Out of nothing, Victor Lindstrom, the man of the hour, brand new striker, comes in and finds the equaliser. Come on, we've still got 8 minutes to find a winner. I mean, if we've come from 2-0 down here against the champions. This is a really strong performance. Oh my god, what an effort from Torges, Nuts and Setra. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot Makacek could have done about that, but what on earth is this game? I mean, that's supremely disappointing. For us to get ourselves back into this match from 2-0 down, only to concede a goal like that to end up losing it in the end, is a real disappointment, honestly. And we still ran them very, very close, and I think in the end, they probably were the deserving winners, but only just. Like, we really did show something again here. And I think it does go to show that this team definitely has a bit of quality in it. Aquino had a really poor day. In the end, Pettersson looked quite good off the bench in that right wing-back role. I do wonder if it's just because Aquino was pushed back so far, and he is a better defensive than going forward player, and we may have to try out Giovanelli in some other games in that role to see how he performs there too. 3-2 defeat on the opening day is not ideal, but we know that we're just not on Jules Gordon's level yet. Even without them making any substitutions, we just couldn't quite handle it. I think it made an effect, but if we just, I don't know, we conceded some poor goals today, like the free kick. We conceded 3 long ranges, basically, today, and that's unfortunate. But that's just how it goes. Kouassi delivers one. Usage! And it's cleared off the line. Wait, no, what? What's happened here? Is this an own goal? It is. Narafon Malanon has put an... I don't even know how he did that. We need to see this again. Usage heads this, and Malanon clears it off the line, I thought. Oh. Okay, what it actually is just a really good finish from Malanon. I don't know. He's just tried to head it over the bar, I think, but in factuality, he's just smashed it in with a perfect header, and we lead here. Oh, he's taking it quickly. Dosti! Oh, wow, that was just out of nowhere. They took the free kick quickly. No one was ready. And Daniel Dosti finds the equaliser. A deserved equaliser for Sirius, to be fair. To Martin again, though. And it's flipped over the top for Lindstrom. Off the bench for a second game in a row. Can he do it? He actually has. I can't believe it. 2 substitute appearances for Victor Lindstrom and 2 goals off the bench. He's going to have to start the next game at this rate. It's 2-1 again. It's 2-1 to Örebro. I don't believe it. Well, that right there was an absolute robbery. Honestly, the own goal from Malanon was completely against the run of play. They got better, if anything, in the second half and thoroughly deserved their quite cheekily taken equaliser. But then the fact that Victor Lindstrom off the bench for the second game in a row to score, he's starting the next game. It has to be done. Makacek, though, massively made up for his performance in the last game with making 9 saves today and looking really, really strong. Trapelli looked a little bit better than Aquino in the last game. It's a tough start to the season for us, but actually getting a result here is so goddamn important, even though we didn't play all that well, to be honest. This is a fair old distance from a free kick for Oliver Papp, but if anyone can do it, it's someone like Papp. Oh, that's unfortunate. Murray Kayembe on the follow-up there for Hammarby. We've conceded some annoying goals this season, but we have also had luck against Sirius, I guess. Fired over the top, and oh, wow, Oliver Papp's just in. And he's just been able to score. Oliver Papp scores again. This is such an unfortunate result. We're actually playing really well in this game, but it's just not clicking at the moment. I mean, that's just a supremely disappointing result. To lose this game 2-0 when it was basically a dead heat for the most part. Aquino did actually okay for the most part in this game. He really struggled towards the very end of it and was hemorrhaging rating at the very end of the match, but he was up to a 6.8 at about 70 minutes. It just kind of fell apart there. Yeah, just annoying the first goal. Well saved, and then just put in on the rebound, and then Oliver Papp just managing to score those. We had several chances going clean through on goal in this game, and they just could not take them. Both Lindstrom and then Cisse off the bench. And yeah, it's just been unable to take our chances. What I would say is we've had a very, very tough start. When you look at our first 3 matches, they were against the champions, a team who were always in European competition away from home, and the team that only just didn't win the title. And so all in all, I actually don't think it's been the worst start from us, really. Just getting that win against Sirius was kind of the key. It's just, these things are these things. It's going to take this team a little while to bed in with all these new players. Today was definitely a lot better from us. I just think it was just a bit an unfortunate one, really. Just couldn't take the chances, but then that's just a state of things, isn't it? Receives it back again, trying to shuffle the pace around a little bit. It's a lovely pick up for Garcia, though. She needs one good pass here. Castilla around the surface. Cisse, and this time he does poke it home. Finally, Kalmar 0, Örebro 1. They're bottom of the league right now, but they're a better side than that, we know. And Cisse's finally found the back of the net, and that could be a big turning point for him this season in the league. There's the run. Vaca. There's the pass. It's Kouassi through the middle. And there we go. It's 2-0 to Örebro. Vaca assists Kouassi from Cowman to Coman. I don't know what I'm even saying there. Kouassi? It's a terrible pun. Roll with it, friends. Fires it into the channel. And it'll be caught by Aquino. Oh, my God. Aquino has had a mare today, and then he's responsible for that as well. Bitter. Fires it through, and Charleston's in tons of space again here. And they found the equaliser. Charleston makes it 2. What are we doing this season? I don't know. It's 2-2 here from nowhere. Like, it was a kind of even game, and then we got the first goal, and it was kind of like, okay, and then we got the second goal, and it was all good, and we were actually starting to play quite well at that point. But the moment we gave them, I literally gave them, on a plate, a goal back into this match, they were just good after that, and unfortunately, that's what cost us the match. Just inability to do anything right. As that now puts us 10th in the league with 4 points after 4 games. Obviously a tough start still, but these guys were bottom of the league coming into this match. So we've lost both our home games so far. We have taken 4 points on the road, and I'm trying to look at the positives, and that, I suppose, is one of them. But, my goodness me, it's just a case of missing too many chances and actually just kind of looking bad defensively in places. Vaca, come on, somebody find the run. It's Castilla. He's in on his left foot. Castilla drills it home, and Francisco Castilla makes it Degerfors 0, Örebro 1. Now, we were 1-0 up and 2-0 up in the last game, but this one looks a bit better for us. Nice work from Castilla. And Carlson just in acres of space here. Nobody tracking him at all. I cannot with these guys at the moment. Some of the play. One of the things I've noticed the most is that our passing, especially from, ironically, the players with the best passing ability, is constantly wayward. Even short passes are being misplaced. Ndai slips through for Vaca. He's actually got through here. He might not be able to get a good shot away here, but he has got the shot away and he's scored. Hugo Vaca's first goal for the club. Lovely ball from Ndai. Finally, we connect 2 passes together, and within 30 seconds of the second half kicking off, we find ourselves back in front, and deservedly so. Well, incredibly, it's very similar to the last game, honestly. We took the lead, obviously threw it away immediately this time with some bad play. Got ourselves back into things, but it's just in that last sort of 20 minutes of games at the moment, our opponents are just getting insane amounts of chances out of nowhere because we can't complete a pass. Stensland, what I would say though, had a good game. Surprising actually, he had a good and solid game all day. All 7 points have come on the road thus far, which is actually a good sign in terms of what we're capable of. But, and I know our 2 home, maybe it's not as bad as I think, our 2 home games were against the top 2, so there is that as well. And we have still looked quite bad in some games. We do need to sort it out. But I think it's just going to take time to bed in. There's not really much more we can do at this point. We know the tactics are stable. It just takes a little while for this team to get used to them, I think. So Kouassi fires a cross in, and Aquino's going to be very narrow to get that. And Tudor Jorge's on the end of it, and it's actually going to be a lovely finish from Tudor Jorge. Gives us a very early lead. It's been a poor performance in the first 13 minutes. I think this is the first shot either sides have, but we'll take it. Nice assist from Aquino as well. Anderson fires a cross in. It's a tight angle, and there's the equaliser. This Cartagena, the guy that scored against us last season as well. It's 1-1 here again. Once again, we give up the lead. Back inside. Here we go. Emmanuel Jean's actually got this here. Jorge. Oh, lovely ball back from Cisse on the left foot. Drills it home. Babacar Cisse. Örebro 2, Helsingborg 1. Deserved lead. We take it back again. Nice to see Cisse scoring. Emmanuel Jean was very good on that play, and we score another goal. Oh my God. Cisse, no. What are you doing? Oh, what is this team? Well, incredibly, we do actually get away with the 2-1 victory. So again, good result for us to get the win. But you can sort of see that the red card did kind of have an effect in this game in that we were utterly dominant prior to the red card. But then for the rest of the game, we were just hanging on for dear life. They really don't like to make it easy for themselves. So we go up to 7th in the league. What I would say is we're actually only 3 points off the very top of the division currently. So it's not actually as bad as it could be to start with here. We're 7 points above the drop zone already and only 3 points off the title race at the moment, which is pretty damn cool. It could be better, but I actually think we're not doing too badly. And I think other teams have just kind of struggled at the start as well. And what it means is if we were to get a good run of form going, we can actually get ourselves into that top 4 battle relatively easily. Particularly as our next game is at home against Norrkoping as well. So if we can get back-to-back home wins, and in addition, we've got a full week off in between, which means we'll actually be able to play a preferred lineup for the next game. Lundqvist. Demir through the side here. Bearish now. Good chance for them potentially. Early days. Lindqvist's ball, and it's already well... Oh, no, it's not well saved by Demir. I put Denair in today because I just thought he could do with a goal or a chance, and he's dropped one inside 3 minutes here for us. Brilliant work. Kouassi's delivery, and it's turned home by Ivan Trifunovic for the leveller here right before half-time. We need this. We've got to turn this one into a win to keep that momentum going and make it 3 wins in a row. Anastasio. Demir. Oh, God, I can feel something building here. So much space for Anastasio through the middle, and immediately Norrköping go back in front again. And then we lose, and yet again, it's second half. It's like the opposite of second half Stuniuska. It's flaccid nonsense second half Örebro at the moment. Even when you rotate substitutions, and Ndai had a dreadful game, they are just not sticking with the game plan. As the game was on, they just seem to get not even really tired. Clearly, they've got a bit of tiredness, as you would see, but they seem to have it affects them way more than I've ever seen it affect another team that we've managed so far in this save. That pushes us down to 9th place in the league again. Still got the 10 points on the board and are looking like in no danger of anything, but we're also in no danger of threatening anybody to do anything either. We had a full week off before this one as well. They were all fully fresh for this game, and they just didn't turn up. Ndai pops it over the top for Cisse. It's a great finish from Babacar Cisse, so I better change. I'll just explain it actually before I show you anything. Basically, what I did was, one of the only changes I'm comfortable making in this system is switching the striker roles over and where they play. What I noticed is because we were so weak down that left-hand side with Stensland, I wonder if we were just exposing that left-hand side too much, and by swapping the striker roles over, we get a bit more cover on that side, and maybe it will even things out a little bit in this team, but also provide more chances down the stronger side, which is just exactly what's happened there, as Cisse on his right foot makes it 1-0 Örebro. Anderson. to a CV. He'll be able to ping that. Oh my goodness me. We do love conceding a long shot from like a 0 XG chance this season. My God, we've conceded too many of these. Pedersen now. Flying across in, and he's just, what is going on in this game? Philippe Stongnes now makes it 2-1 to bottom of the league, Elfsborg. Ndai. Jorge. Lindstrom! Who else but Victor Lindstrom off the bench. He only seems to do well off the bench, but bloody hell, he's done it again, and it's Elfsborg 2, Örebro 2. Right, one more, lads, eh? Erlendsson pops it through. Lindstrom knocks it down. It's Castilla, and he scored! Francisco Castilla, and it is Elfsborg 2, Örebro 3, and we've turned this one around. Come on. Some lovely playing between the lines here. Lovely start. Oh, the one-touch football. And Lindstrom's in again. Could he score another one? And he bloody well has. It's 4-2. Victor Lindstrom, maybe it was just the wrong personnel. Aroda and Dye slips it through. We've been amazing in this second half. 4-2. In the end, a thoroughly deserved result. And we actually had a bit of a second half renaissance in this one after a dismal start to the match, really. Just utterly shocking. We really did pull it out the bag, but Victor Lindstrom is part of the reason for that. Castilla was excellent. It's just like, I think it's the right idea, actually, what we're trying to do there. It's just the right personnel within that system seems to work better. And Lindstrom, again, was phenomenal off the bench. Another 2 goals for him, as it keeps us 7th in the league, as things stand. We're only 3 points off of Djurgården at the moment, and it does push us back to a positive goal difference. And it keeps the momentum coming. We've won 3 of our last 4, technically. We're just conceding poor goals and mostly not taking our chances, but today we were able to, and I think Lindstrom has earned himself a start in our proper live com against EFK Yotaborg up next, and that's going to be tough, but I don't know, I feel like he's definitely earned the right to start in this team. All in all, start of the season has not exactly been exemplary. I think that maybe it's just the way that the games have fallen, honestly. With such a tough start, I don't think it helped our confidence going into that, really. And getting that surprise result away at the team who are currently top of the league, and it was against the first 3 big sides in there as well. But we haven't looked that much better against some of the worst sides, and like dropping those 2 points against Kalmar was just unforgivably poor. And I felt that we had to make some slight tweaks, but I don't want to make huge tweaks because, again, we know there's a sound tactical underlying here. That's why I'm not going to go, well, let's tear up the entire playbook. It's not as simple as that. And also, that would be silly, since we know that we have something good here. But I do think that maybe the strikers on the other side could actually benefit us in this one, just in easing that pressure a little bit. But what I would say is it definitely made the other side slightly worse from a wing-back perspective. So it seems that no matter which way round you do it, it's going to be exposing one side. Changes are definitely going to be made. It seems that Cisse actually only did get a one-match ban, incredibly, after the straight red card, but there you go. I'll do a massive switcheroo here because, again, you can see the fitness levels with having constant midweek games. It's really, really bad. Wow, they all look a bit dead, don't they? Kouassi and Dai, and Vaka's obviously suspended. He's suspended. And I think I'm going to go with Kouassi. I think Ndai could probably do with the rest. Actually, no. Tell a lie. I disagree. I've disagreed with myself. I think Ndai is the one that we need. Can we put both in? We probably could put both in and then just bring substitutions on instead. And I'm also going to start Daenerys over Makacek today. And I might try Aquino again, now that we've switched things around, see if he's got a little bit more protection, maybe he can improve, because he's been shocking. We're going to start off with our normal strategy, but I think very, very quickly we're going to be playing down the wide areas, because when they play this narrow, you've got to utilise that space. And the likes of Aquino and Order today, honestly, that makes me wonder if I should actually start Japelli instead. Even if he lacks the defensive quality, I think he'll be such a useful force for us going forward down that left-hand side that it might be a good time to start him instead. I think part of the other issue is I've yet to really figure out in my head who I actually want and where at the moment. Which strikers I prefer, which midfielders I want in which positions, and same with the centre-backs, and even the goalkeepers. Wait, what? It's another game where they've not got any substitutes. What's going on? Because this hasn't happened in any of the off-camera matches. Only the 2 games that we've played right here. The only thing I can think of is that when I come to a live call game, before we play it, I go into the preferences and I change it back to extended highlights for the live com matches. And I don't know if that's messing with it in some way. I don't know why that would. I've almost immediately switched to using those wide runs because I think that's just where we're going to have our biggest success today, although it looks like they're going to get some early chances here. It's a good effort from Slavkov over the bar. Trifunovic, there we go. Spread the play a bit more. Ora. Kouassi, this is more like it. We've opened them up a bit more now. Ora, tons of bodies. One of them is Judah George, and it's Örebro 1, EFK Yotaborg 0. And literally the first time we finally used those wide players and got those overlaps going, we finally got the chance. Nice work, 1-0. Wouldn't normally do this, but I've actually upped our passing directness slightly to maybe allow slightly more cross-field passes to enable us to get those wide players in a little bit more easily from these sort of positions to try to cross those. There we go. That's exactly what I want to see. Before, maybe because they were on shorter passing, they weren't picking those passes as often as I would have perhaps liked, and I think that might have been causing us a problem. Trying to figure out how to deal with those lovely late runs they keep making. Saidi now, to the byline. Oh, reasonably good defending. Oh, come on! I don't know what to do. Like, I've never seen this, one of the sides in this save concede so many shots from range. I mean, for the most part, we've been pretty woeful in this first half. They deserved their goal. Just maybe not like that. They had better chances, honestly. Just one of those days where we've just not been able to graft any openings other than the one we did, and I'm trying to get us to create more of them, but they just don't seem to play the passes. Get those wing-backs involved a little bit more. Like, they've got to start using them. There we go. Finds Erlendsson. There we go. Cisse now. Pops it through for Lindstrom. He's through. Lindstrom! This man is a Rebru 2. EFK Yotaborg now. I actually just realised I made the wrong substitution. I was supposed to take off Lindstrom and bring on Cisse, and I actually took off Castilla for Cisse, but it looks like it's not going to matter because now we lead again. Erlendsson slips it in. Cisse's the one that provides the run. Lindstrom's there on his right foot, drills another one home, and it's 2-1 a Rebru, massively against the run of play. Cake again. Oh, this is some nice interchange and stuff, and Slavkov's through, and that is the equaliser. Well, it's essentially come off the end of that ridiculous pass away, but they have found a way through again. Oh my god. Right, there's 2 of you on him. One of you just tackled. Nice. And then we give the ball away again. And then it's a freaking red card. Fires it into the channel, and wow. This is definitely going to be the goal. Mabasso. Erlendsson now. And that's the final whistle. Ah, dear. We were crap. It was embarrassing. We were crap, and honestly, we should have been much further buried in this game. I think it's like I could see what we were supposed to try and do, and I would make tactical decisions to try to do those things, but the players just refused to put the ball where they needed to put it. It's a real shame. Like, trying to go down those wide areas, and I even had to look for overlap at one point, even though we don't have anyone to overlap, in the hopes that maybe a wide player, like a striker, would get the ball here and wait for the overlaps. The problem was just, even though we're not playing out of defence, so often what would happen would be one of the wide centre-backs would get the ball, there's a clear pass on down the line to one of the completely open wing-backs, and they just pass it back to the goalkeeper again. It's infuriating. Maybe they're on the wrong feet. I don't know how they could be in those positions, but yeah, it's a poor start to the season for us. There's just no two ways about it. That was dreadful. I say poor start. We're 8th in the league. We're slap bang mid-table and really within touching distance of as far up as 3rd. If we could just sort this sort of stuff out, I think it'll be okay. But it's just, we haven't looked great. Other than against Elfsborg in that second half, we've really not looked good for any sustained periods just yet. And obviously it's going to take time. We know that. I just wasn't expecting it to be quite so janky upon this, but we just don't look... We look worse than we did last season, despite having much better players. So that's fun. But we'll figure it out. You know, all these things take time to work, and hopefully we can figure this out over the rest of the season, because at the moment, I think if we get anywhere near Europe this year, I think I'll be extremely surprised. It should work. Ergo, faith. We've got to trust the process, and things will eventually come good for us. We were at least starting to turn a corner. If we hadn't had that random result against Norrkoping in the middle of that, we were starting to look a lot better. Sort of. It's certainly not over yet, but certainly not over. Of course it's not over. We've only had 9 games. It just feels like there's been some annoying defeats in there, and they're just not quite clicking the way that I would like. But there's plenty of time for that to come, and I'm sure these guys are going to definitely come good. It's noticeable how Tudor Georges has still continued to play well and score goals, despite not being in the team all that much, and let things happen for us. So, if you've enjoyed this, then drop a like on the video. That'd be magnificent. God, it's warm in here. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. That'd be stupidly lovely as well. And if you want to, follow on Twitch too. That'd be lovely. I'll see you guys very soon. Hold your gun. Capybara. Bye-bye.